Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Marvel Rivals Ranked Cast. We've got some top-level players here today. We've got, according to Rivals Meta, the second best Iron Man. We've got players who were formerly part of Luminosity Gaming, Olegattoor, for example. We've got players formerly from OG, the now Patapim, or Patapim. Someone told me how to pronounce it. I've already forgotten. Sorry. We got some top-level players here today. But a quick reminder before we start that, once again, we are only 34 subs away from our 5,000 sub goal. So please drop a subscription, and if we get that, then I'll be starting to live stream very soon. I'm away on holiday until the 5th, so if we get it in that gap, there will be some kind of... The stream will be happening after that. Obviously, I won't be streaming while I'm away, but... fingers crossed, we can maybe hit it. We're getting really, really close. And of course, as usual, a shout out to our members. Puff Mendili, Roshula, Doki Pokey, and John. Thank you for helping keep the channel going, helping me keep making content. It's expensive to spend many hours of my day recording Marvel Rivals because it's work I'm not doing on other things. So, with that said, we have our game set up and I'm going to get us loaded in. And we're going to see our game. We are heading to Symbiotic Surface. We get a lot of those games, but it's a good map, so no complaints here. Let's head on in. Many of you will probably have worked out by the time I have, by slightly biased casting style, that I am a huge progenitor, a huge, encourager of double tank is almost always essential, unless on the very odd occasion you are running a Magic or a Mr. Fantastic. This is my view. And the end screen of this match showed one of these teams solo tanked. Let's see if it works out for them. I am a support and tank player, in case it isn't obvious. My DPS could use some work. I was a console player for a long time, moving over to PC. I'm still getting accuracy, and also I'm getting older, so I'm just getting a little worse as time goes on. We have Jeff and Hella going to be taken away. Groot and Banner. There we go, removing a couple more. My top characters in terms of DPS that I play a little bit of Bucky, play a little bit of Iron Man, and I play a fair amount of Namor, at least in the games I actually get to play DPS. Mostly Namor, because I like to protect my backline. Hence the tank and support playing. Here we go. We got some familiar names from yesterday's video, I believe. We got her TeamUp and Swedishfemmboy back once again. You can see here, looks like we're going to get a solo tank for the defenders. Unless her team up is willing to adjust. Let's see if they do. Nope, going for the Human Torch. Very cool. Alright, let's introduce our players. We have Koedaa playing the Emma Frost, her team up on the Human Torch. Swedishfemmboy is back with the Loki. This is a heck of a name. SNAZZMUMRIKKEN. SNAZZMUMRIKKEN is my best assumption. They are on that Iron Man. Olegattoor, apparently LFT, is playing the Invisible Woman. And Intent will be playing the Psylocke. And on the red side, we have Saud playing the Loki. Ken is on Invisible Woman. Pokey also bringing out the Human Torch. Enzo playing the Magneto. Knuti will be on that Mr. Fantastic. And Lasten-tuhooja will be playing the Everfrost. Pressure in right off the bat. We're not seeing a lot of Iron Man these days, and with that Hulk banned out, it is already a little bit weakened, but it's still playing low, playing within range of their healers, taking out the Regeneration Domain Lantern, getting healed up, and they're holding pretty well, playing down low so they don't become a target. Pretty solid playstyle here. Only fly up when you need an angle. No need to fly up and become a target when you're already behind your teammates. Let your tanks do their job. Pokey trying to trade out here. Doing a lot of damage onto Koedaa here. Forced to wrap around, creating an entrance so they can send some shots through. Lasten trying to zone away here, but it's eating a lot of damage here. Forced to back away. Wall up. Koedaa zoned away here. Snaz still melting with the Unibeam here. Ultimates starting to charge up for most of the players here. Her team up on 90, Pokey on 66. 82 for Koedaa. 57 for Lasten. Blue team getting their ultimates a little bit quicker, it seems. But Invisible Boundary still at the ready. Nice pickup. Pokey with the elimination here. Here comes the clone. Looks like it was from Swedishfemmboy. Invisible Boundary to combo with the Supernova to protect her team up, with a counter from Ken to keep the team topped up and healed up here. Good damage coming out here. Now it's time for the Human Torch duel. Beautiful pickup combining with Koedaa, who dropped the Psionic Seduction mid-air here. Pointing straight up, locking down that Human Torch, gets the pickup. Pokey's on the way back with that Plasma Body and Flaming Meteor. Her team up falls, and that's going to be point number 1, going over to the red team. Beautiful pickup there. Koedaa turning that round at the start of the fight, but too many people still went down. Snaz trading some shots, but it's getting run down here. Human Torch and Mr. Fantastic were one thing off of a full Fantastic Four competition. Knuti charging in. Loves to get up close and personal, and against a Iron Man, that is a great play to make. Intent moving over to a Star-Lord here. Giving us an extra flyer. We're now 3 out of the 4 flyers. Silent Seduction coming in from Lasten as the Supernova from Pokey comes out, trying to combo the two to lock him in all together. Snaz with the Invincible Pulse Cannon finds no one as Pokey takes out Koedaa. Forced to back away. Her team up, getting caught in position, gets locked down there for a moment by the Emma Frost and dropped out of the sky thanks to the Psionic Vortex from the Invisible Woman. Her team up, forced to back away. Ken is on the chase. Not a great position for her team up. Human Torch duel, trying to find the angle, will get it on the floor, gets the pickup. Pokey winning that duel, but barely. Knuti, Brainiac bounce, coming in to the backline to try and lock down, takes out Snaz. Swedishfemmboy and olegattoor are all taken down in 10 falls. That's a triple for Knuti, assisting on an extra 2. And that is going to be point number 2, grabbed by the red team. Rushing it down here. 3 minutes and 52 seconds. We're not on speedrun pace, but they are still making very good time. Snaz getting zoned out a little bit here. Her team up. Creating that Pyro Prison on the ground. Going to take out that Guardian Barrier from the Invisible Woman. Flaming Meteor to get out of danger. And Pokey melted by intent there. Nicely done. Invisible Woman dropping that Invisible Boundary. Enzo with the Media M to absorb some of that Psionic Seduction from Koedaa, who drops on a load of people, but they can't follow up because that Invisible Boundary from Ken and then a second Invisible Boundary from Saud is shutting down the damage output, but they're about to lose both of their support ultimates. No more healing ultimates here as in comes Intent to melt through with the Galactic Legend. It's an absolute massacre. Intent chasing through, finding everyone they need, trying to take Pokey. Does not want to take the full duel. Will back away as respawns start to come in. The advantage of running a triple duelist composition, while it almost always does not work, you do sometimes get situations like that where if you can sustain through your opponent's strategist ultimates, you have one extra aggressive ultimate in order to trade out with them. And that's exactly what we saw there. Intent playing the slow, patient game. Pokey sieging from above, taking a little bit of damage, forced to Flaming Meteor out. And landing a pretty good hit here. Invisible Pulse Cannon blocked completely there by that regeneration domain. Knuti, though, will get eaten alive here by the Unibeam, and they will force red team to back out once again. Pokey still dueling her team up there. Playing evasive, using some Plasma Body to stay mobile. Try and make himself harder to lock down. Pyro Prison, the smallest Pyro Prison, getting dropped there on the side. Guardian Barrier, healing up bit by bit. Silent Seduction coming in. Supernova for the follow-up and a Brainiac bounce. Can they lock anyone in? Looks like no. Here comes the counter. Her team up with the Supernova. Both of the Emma Frost dropping that Psionic Seduction there. Enzo has Meteor M, could drop it for a bit of a counterplay, as that's another Blaster Barrage. And a Galactic Legend coming in, eating as much damage as they can. Midair catches intent. Beautiful play by Enzo, but they are now low. And we're going to see Lasten picked off by that Invincible Pulse Cannon. And this Mr. Fantastic going to get melted by the Unibeam. Dashing away, though, to their allies, staying safe. Into the inflated form to dive into that backline even more, try and take out the Loki as the Blaster Barrage comes out. Knuti finally falls. Snaz with the pickup. Lasten on the Strange, holding onto the portal here. They know they can still walk in if needed. Finally, they have a double tag right at the very end. Oh no, they've had a double tag this entire time. I got the teams mixed up there for a second. Koedaa melting. So they've moved off of that Emma Frost onto the Strange, which means now they have a portal and they build some ult charge. Meaning there's a chance that they will have an ultimate in what could be the final fight. Koedaa is tagging, holding the line for the moment, doing a fantastic job. Portal still being held. They're just going to march in. If they go down, they need to be prepared to portal immediately upon respawn to give their team the chance to get in. Good healing, keeping them topped up here. Diamond Form is active. Knuti deep in the back line. Psionic Seduction coming out. Shield will break. They're holding the line. Invisible Pulse Cannon takes out Knuti and Enzo for the turnaround. Invisible Boundary has come out and the attackers are starting to fall. Strange portaling to try and get their team back to the fight, but picked off before they can cast it. The hero play, trying to sacrifice themselves, but they didn't have the time. 2 points, 92 meters, 2 centimeters. I love how much of a risky play that was. I love Lasten-tuhooja realizing that what else could they do? They can't hold alone. It would take too long for people to walk there, and they are the character who could be the portal for their team. In theory, you should have potentially just not Strange there, so that your team could have swapped the Strange to portal in, and you play something else that can hold the point. Hope your team will swap the Strange if need be. That is the risk you play from doing that. But they realized the situation they were in, they adjusted, and they tried. They really gave it their best to try and give their team an opportunity, a chance to try and portal in, just by realizing that they are going to get eliminated, but they can still try and let their team touch the point. They were getting healed, but the damage output was just too much. They were too outnumbered, and they just couldn't get the portal off in time. A sad story. I cry every time. Solo tag now for the defenders and the attackers as Lasten moves off the Emma Frost onto the Hawkeye. Blue team, no adjustment at all. Shots being sent in. Trying to make the most of this Hawkeye. Everyone is squishy, and most of them are flyers. So just try and take him out. Take him off the board, taking a little bit of damage, but is getting healed up quite quickly, so not a huge issue so far. Koedaa getting eaten in the front line, but so is Enzo. Crystal kick to bring him in here. Koedaa playing very far forward. Great damage here. Trying to track the Star-Lord, but they're so mobile. They will get out here. Mine's Aegis broken almost instantly, but the point is being held. The squishy members of Red Team have already been forced off the point. Getting zoned away off the point immediately here. And that lack of second tag being shown for both teams. In this case, not being able to stay on the point for long enough if they lose Enzo. And suddenly, they have no sustain. They're just driven back, taking too much damage and forced to retreat. Damage output is coming in. Lasten do the best they can. Pokey off of the human torch, brings out the Psylocke. Good damage on the high ground. Finds Koedaa once again doing a fantastic job on this tank. Knuti takes out Snaz. Nice Psychic Spear there, a little bit of extra damage. As that Null's Essence continues to creep on in. Snaz with the enhanced ability to try and do a little bit of extra damage. Eating a lot of damage himself here, actually. Needs some healing. Sending in a couple shots, not really finding any targets for the moment. In fact, getting targeted down here. Triple DPS, not a situation conducive to easy Iron Man play as you're constantly getting targeted. Pokey does the butterfly, takes out olegattoor. Koedaa has that psionic seduction. Holding on to it as they creep forward. Forced to back away their diamond form, getting chased here almost. The Swedishfemmboy will fall. Snaz is basically caught in the spawn here, trying to poke away, take off some hit points, get some good hits onto Hawkeye. Evasive maneuvers to make their way up to get forward. Enzo driving back on the front line, on that Magneto, still solo tanking. Her team up. Sending in some pretty good shots here. Knuti, Galactic Legend with that extra shield, but there's that psionic seduction as the shield expires. Knuti is forced to hide around the corner. Visible Pulse Cannon finds nothing here. And Hunter's Sight working down Iron Man, takes them down. Intent coming in with another Galactic Legend. I think the first Galactic Legend actually came from Swedishfemmboy, who I think got a clone out here. Will get taken down though. Intent falls from behind though. Pokey taking out Koedaa. That's going to be enough to put a stop to the cart. However, reinforcements coming in very quickly. Pokey on fire at the moment. Diving the backline, finding targets, getting pickups. Looking for anyone they can find. Saud has that invisible boundary. Pokey with darts of the butterfly. Intent also now on that Psylocke. Knuti takes out Snaz. Pokey doing a good job. Has a great flank psionic stealth into the backline. One Swedishfemmboy has it onto the butterfly to stay alive though. With the invisible boundary, Pokey is in serious trouble. Gets a Guardian Barrier and that will keep them up. But olegattoor did drop the invisible boundary for this, so it is an ult for ult trade. Saud keeping their team topped up as well. That car, it's not going very far. Red team are holding this. They've been able to find a good angle. Invisible boundary is dropped. Ken has that fate of both worlds. They can try and turn this here. Red team are holding, and this could be enough. Remember, they have 2 points. And with only 1 minute 50 left, blue team are running out of time. Guardian Barrier blocking a lot of that Iron Man damage. They're still sending in some counter hits. On the flank, not dashing, because they know that will reveal their location via the sound effect. Galactic Legend from Knuti. Invisible Pulse Cannon comes out, finds no one, but Media M does. Olegattoor is taken down. Dance of the Butterfly, Supernova, fate of both worlds from both sides. But blue team, they're starting to get the situation they need. They've got the numbers advantage, and they are starting to burn on through. Flaming Meteor onto the backline to try and take him down. But Pokey on the flank, still being a menace here. Gets the pickup. Lasten back on a tank here. Onto the Strange for the second time, and this time it's to reinforce on point number 2. Does the butterfly. Pokey gets another pickup. They got a double elimination in that last fight while their team is all back at spawn. They're still in the backline. Reinforcements come in and red team are still holding right before point number 2. Back on that double tank, meaning it's going to be much harder to push them off this point. They have the time now. 30 seconds left for blue team to make the play, but they have the tool they need. Psionic Seduction. Plus that Invisible Pulse Cannon, 83%. Once Snaz respawns, they have the chance to try and just burst through if they can get past these double barriers. The old Asia-style frontline, the Oceanic frontline, with the Strange and Magneto from Season 0. It still works, even though these two tanks have been nerfed more than basically anyone else. Here comes the Mind's Aegis. Diamond Form does not land the lockdown, but still pushing in. Psionic Seduction finds the Lunar Snow, but is there damage there? Olegattoor is taken out from the Invincible Pulse. Cannabis Stars also falls. They're trying to hold it. Knuti with the Galactic Legend, but the Fate of Both Worlds is holding them all together. In the meantime, deep in there, in the Fate of Both Worlds, we're seeing her team up, trying to buy a little bit of extra time with Flaming Media and Supernova. Ken stays up. Ken still in the game. And red team repel the Assault of blue team and will take the game. Nicely done. Ken taking MVP. Did a huge amount of work in keeping their team alive here. Let's have a look at some of those statistics. Olegattoor swapped to the Strange at the very last moment to try and get their team back onto the point. Big shout out to them. But you can see by that 33k healing that they were full heals for all of this game. MVP Ken, as we already mentioned, 13 eliminations, 4 of which were final hits. Getting some good hits here. Very nicely done. But now let's look at the big numbers. 33k for pokey. Sorry, 33k, sorry. 33 eliminations, 21 of which were final hits. Pokey is a menace, showing that Psylocke still viable and powerful when you need them, especially against triple DPS. You're just going to farm them. Going to have a lovely time. 25k damage on top of that, 25.5k. Third highest in the game, just a little bit more than Koedaa. But Snaz with 27k, really padding up, getting 10 final hits as well. And her team up 33k, showing that Human Torch style of really just padding up those damage numbers. Top damage blocked. It's actually pretty close. The solo tank Koedaa still not tanking as much as Enzo, who was solo tank, but only for a moment, only for like most of round 2, but for round 1 they were duo tank. 51k damage blocked, only 1k more, but that's still 41k damage blocked for Lasten. Both of them giving their team a chance to absorb that damage block number. It really does add up. You can see the damage block numbers of all the rest of the players. It nowhere near adds up to the additional blocked damage that Lasten and Enzo offer. Least amount of eliminations, most amount of eliminations, Snaz and Intent. They did both struggle. They were focused down a fair amount here. Though being flyers, they were, of course, going to be targeted. That is going to be 12 eliminations for both of them. The least is Ken, once again, earning that MVP. Only getting taken out 3 times. And Ken with the most healing, showing why we are MVP here. 56k healing. That is 16k more. An entire Knuti almost worth of damage, more healing than their own teammate Saud, and almost 2k more healing than Swedishfemmboy. 2.3k more healing. Wait, no, I'm reading this wrong. It's 56k, not 5k. So it's not 2k, it's 20k more healing than olegattoor. And 19k more healing than Swedishfemmboy. Absolutely spectacular numbers. Ken showing why they are so strong as a healer. But that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. We got to see an Iron Man. We don't get to see that very often. We saw a little bit of solo tanks. We saw a little bit of duo tanks. We saw the value of swapping mid-game, which is, of course, a big plus for Marvel Rivals in general. But I hope you all enjoyed today's cast. I am about to be recording several in a row, so while my shirt changes, you are going to see my hair stay almost exactly the same. Hooray! But I'm going to be recording a load because in 3 days I will be on a holiday, so I'm making sure that I have enough videos uploaded and ready for you all to hopefully keep you all entertained while I am away. So this video is going up on the 29th. Day after that will be the 30th. So today is... What day is it? It's Monday. So Tuesday... So tomorrow's... This video will be Tuesday. Video after that will be Wednesday. So if you want to be nice, in the comments on the videos from Thursday onwards until, like, next Monday, I believe, be nice and potentially leave a comment saying, enjoy the Netherlands, Chris. Have fun in Amsterdam, Tetcher. I'm going with my partner. It's going to be absolutely lovely. The weather is looking to be beautiful. It's actually boiling here right now. There is an aircon on. I was very brave to wear a grey t-shirt, which is why I'm keeping my arms firmly at my sides right now, because I do not want to take any risks there. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help this channel grow and to help feed the YouTube algorithm. As forget Ultron, I'm fighting robots. I'm fighting Google right now to try and get these videos noticed. Remember, we'll be doing these high-level ranked plays until Season 2 MRC begins, where we'll be casting the MRC games every single day, and then we'll be going back to, after whatever back catalogue of MRC games I have, to powerful top-level ranked games. I also am still working on my quiz, so let me know in the comments what creators you would like me to put on the quiz. It's very silly. It's not like hyper-focused, what is the exact damage number of this ability? Which player did this kind of situation? We're just going to be trying to make something a little bit fun, a little bit silly. And of course, once I'm back from my holiday, I'll be starting my weekly esports news recap show for Marvel Rivals. So make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for that. For now, though, I've been Tetcher, I've been your caster. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to change t-shirts and just keep going, and I'll see you all tomorrow.